Hello, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday. I wanted to try to enunciate that because my husband said that when he hears me saying it, or maybe hears the recording, he thinks it sounds like Naked Monday. So I want to make sure that we know that it is Make It Monday because we are going to make some projects. We're going to make 4 projects tonight, and they are the projects that are in for my class for February. And of course, if you want, even if you can't attend a class, you can still get the projects at the end. I will explain to you how to get that. Excuse me. So first I want to announce, I want to say thank you so much for leaving comments. I like when you like my stuff. I love hearing from you. I like knowing that you're watching. And yeah, you can follow me so that you don't miss anything. Also, if you don't get my emails, you might want to subscribe to my email list so that you don't miss out on anything that's happening. And I will have a link for that in the description so that you can click on that and sign up for my email list. Um, Also, I want to announce a winner from last week. I did a drawing for one of the cards, and the winner is Karen Mullins. So, Karen, you'll be getting one of those cards. Okay, this card uses our On the Farm stamp set and bundle. And then it also highlights our designer paper that is in Sale A Bration for the farmyard paper. So let me show you how we do this one. Well, let me show you the On the Farm bundle. So this is what you get with that bundle. It's really cute, and I have some cute ideas to show you when we're at the end of this project. So hang in there. All right, so I'm using soft suede as my base card. So for my paper here at the bottom, I have this on somewhat of a diagonal, and I wanted to show you how I cut this. So I cut the paper at 3.5 by 4, and then I just put it in my cutter and had about the same amount at either side so that now I have all of this in this diagonal. They're not all going to be exactly the same, but they're all going to have the same diagonal look. So I'm going to build on top of this piece. Because of diagonals, they're difficult to cut and get square at the end. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. That one is a little bit long, so I'll be able to trim that off. And this piece I cut a 1-inch strip with the chicken wire. And I'm just going to place that on here and make sure that this tip extends past that edge. And then I can just come in with my scissors on the back and just trim off that excess. Whoops. And I can come over here and trim off all of this excess. And then I'll have the perfect edge, because depending on how steep your diagonal is will depend on how steep those are. And you can't as many times as you try, it's very difficult to get that exact every time. Let's go ahead and stamp our circle piece. And we are going to stamp, we're going to use black ink for the barn. I'm going to just go ahead and stamp that. I want him inked really good. In fact, I'm going to sit it on top of here just because my surface is just a little bit textured. There we go. And then, let me close that. I don't need that right now. I need crumb cake. We're going to stamp a field on top of this. And I'm just going to grab a Post-it note here. Just because I don't want to stamp that on my barn. So we'll just pop that on there like that. And stamp our field. There we go. How's that? And then the rest of everything is going to be popped up. So I'm going to do pigs and a chicken. Let me just grab my scrap paper here. Let's color them real quick. And for the pig, I'm using our skin tone markers. I'm using SU 800 and 1000. I'll use 1000, probably more for the baby pig, who And of course, these are not true to color because he should have a lot more brown on him because I'm sure was rolling in the dirt, the mud. But this is after she's had a good bath. I'll go ahead and put some of this on first. And then we'll get some of this pink, especially here on the nose. He's just a little bit more pink. Okay. And then for the chicken, she is a Rhode Island red hen. So I'm using Cajun Craze. This is what we had when I was growing up. All right, that's done. And last but not least, let's do the barn here. I tried to keep these projects really not a lot of coloring. Now I am using cherry cobbler here. I know, it looks very pink to me, but it coordinates with the cherry cobbler in the designer paper here, so that's why I'm using that color. Okay, and then I'll maybe make the barn door brown, just so it's a different color. Let's do crumb cake for that. This is dark crumb cake. Okay, now we're ready to pop these babies in place. Let's throw a little green glue on here. Get our pigs on there. Get our chicken in place. I could have put a dimension on her. And then we have this cute little windmill. And of course it looks very small, sort of like the barn. So it's going to stand on the hill and be very far away. So we're going to put that up here so that everything looks proportionate. Okay, so we're ready to pop that on our card. I'm going to keep it really close to this side because I do want to put a tag in here yet. I didn't have that upside down. So I'm going to keep that really close over here. Before that dries, let's stamp this. I'm going to stamp from all of us in Early Espresso. I'm really having trouble seeing with the glare. Bring it back to me a little bit. Hopefully that's better. It's at the top, but it's a little straighter. And then let's go ahead and get that popped into place right away. That's just going to slide right in here. And then it's not quite dry yet, so okay. And now I'm just going to trim this off. There we go. Okay, and now this is ready to put on my base. And because everything is still wet, I'm going to just that paper sticking to my thumb. Put this sideways. There we go. All right, not quite done yet. We have a couple more things to do. Just want to add a bow, if I can find my linen thread. I'm trying to put it on the bottom of the glue dot and then just take the glue dot and fold it over on itself so that it's not gushing out from my bow. And last but not least, we have rustic metallic dots that we are going to add. And I'm going to pop a little one here and a larger one here. All right, the inside, if you want to stamp that, I just stamped 3 of these fields, and then I stamped a cow and colored him in with the marker. And you can, let's see, this one I did I did a lamb inside and some grass. So anyways, fun to play with. The kids will love this because they love creating scenes and doing fun things. So they'll love playing with this. And they'll love the cards that I have for them as well. Linda came over and did these for me the other day. So this one is a little card. I have it untied already, but it was tied, and then it comes open. It has another flap that comes open, and then this flap comes down. So I can make it into a little photo card. Sorry, I got that a little too close. But anyways, hopefully you could see that. And this is all designer paper, and then some of the stamps and dies here on the front. And let me lay that there. And this one, again, designer paper here, some stamping and die cutting, and then a little pop-up card. Isn't that cool? It's just so much fun with this barn and silo. And then last but not least, this cute card, the 3 animals on it. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed those cards. Our next card features a Sale A Bration set that you can earn for free when you place a $50 order. And it's called Thanks a Bunch, and it is so stinking cute. I'm doing a lot of cute, sorry. I'm into cute for some reason. So yes, it's carrots. And all of these sayings are, you know, like love you a bunch, thanks a bunch, whatever, that type of thing. Like you can go with that theme. But it's just, who would think of putting a carrot on a card? But wait till you see this card and then the other samples that I have to share with you. You're just gonna, I think you'll love it as much as I do. So we're using Garden Green, Pumpkin Pie, and Granny Apple Green. I also have that, and I'll show you why I need that in a minute. We're gonna start with the Pumpkin Pie and stamp the carrots first. So there's, everything is sort of 2-step in this, which is why it looks so cool with such little effort. So I'm going to ink that full strength. I'm going to stamp it off. I'm stamping on my mat because I'm using photopolymer. I'm going to do the straight one first because I'm not very good at figuring where something needs to go. Spatial orientation, is that what it's called? Do another one there. And you could have another piece of paper here making another card if you want full strength carrots instead of wasting those images. All right, the next part is this little stamp, which could be grass if you want grass in your scene, but it's also the little extra marks on the carrot. And I'm just going to do those full strength right on the edge of the carrot. Got that one a little bit high. Isn't that cool? It just really brings that carrot to life. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to just use this little leaf. And this is where I don't want it to overlap the top of my carrot. So I'm going to just put this here. Once I do the first one, and I think I want to stamp that off. What you can do, let me go ahead and put just a mark here, because it's going to be a little tricky once you have that covered up to know where the center of your carrot is. So if you just put that little mark in the center of your carrot, let me go ahead and ink that again, then you'll know where to stamp that. Let's do it with the next one. Put that in the center. Stamp. I could probably do this full strength. Right, the next one, we're going to do this little one. It looks like almost, this is like the furry, fuzzy top of the carrot. And we're going to go back and do that same thing again. And, oh, I didn't want to use this color. I want to use Garden Green because I want it to stand out a little bit more. Going to a darker green, so that's why I didn't wash that off, because I wasn't not worried about those colors mixing. And I just want this to sort of sit in front of that one. We'll just move it carefully around again. If you want, you could have this ready and do these at the same time. Then you don't have to move your mask quite as much. Okay, there we go. Carrots are all done. They're so cute. All right, so I'm going to, I want to have some black on this card. I'm going to use black cording, as you see. So I'm going to go ahead and do my saying in black. Now, I put together 2 of the words in the set. I could just do thanks, but I want to go with the carrot theme, and we have a bunch of carrots. So I'm going to do thanks a bunch. And what I did was I lined, I guess I should show you that. So I set my block on here on my grid paper and got it nice and straight. And then I lined those words up with a line on here because I wanted them to be fairly straight. Okay, so hopefully that's a helpful tip that you can use. We're going to do this little thing again. That makes a really quick and easy banner. And then we're ready to put it together. So I have Coastal Cabana for my base. And then we've got pumpkin pie to match our pumpkin that we used in the ink. And I see I didn't fold that straight. And then I pulled out some of that great paper again that's from our celebration paper. It's a big pack, and I just use it for so many things. So I'm going to do just a touch of that on here. This color is actually probably crushed curry, but it looks really nice with pumpkin pie. And let's go ahead and glue that down. I'm turning this quite a bit because I want it to show outside of my stamped design. And I want to be able to put this on here fairly straight. So I turned that quite a bit so that it would show nicely. And let's go ahead and center this, hopefully, on the card. There we go. And then I'm just going to, let's go ahead and put dimensionals here. And then I will put the cord in between there. I'm just tearing some of these edge pieces off here. And then I might, I don't see any glue dots in here. So I'm going to just put a little adhesive in here just to hold that ribbon in place. You can actually make a bow, but you almost don't need it because you're not going to see the tie in the bow. So you can just take it around your fingers like this, give it a little snip, and then I don't know if I need quite that much, but we'll see. One thing with this cord is that you don't want too much of it because you don't want it to just sort of droop. So I'm going to just pull those edges a little bit till I think that it's going to lay nicely. And for some reason I got that twisted in there. And then when I glue that down, you can't tell that that's not tied from the front. Let's go ahead and put that in place. And this again, I also want to be straight. All right, there we go. A little snip, snip there. And we are finished with that card. Isn't that cute? Got a little fuzzy in there. All right, so there's that set. And then I have a couple more ideas to show you with that fun set. This is a card that I got from Carol Warrenfeltz, a team member, and I just was so excited to have this card. It was so pretty. This one, Ruth came over and made this one for me today. Isn't that beautiful? See the shimmer on there? And then this one I just finished before I came on here with a basket full of flowers using the Cheerful Basket set dies. Really easy to put that together. And I did the little cloth in here by taking a square of just mint macaron cardstock and just scrunched it many times until the fibers were pulling apart, and I was able to just take the corner of the paper and tear it and peel it apart so that I think they call it faux suede, a faux suede look. So anyways, so I hope that you like those ideas. Okay, so the next project that I want to show you is this one. This is a beautiful card made with a Dainty Delight bundle, and it coordinates with the Dainty, Dainty Flowers in Celebration. I always forget the name of it, but it's a designer paper. And this is the stamp set and bundle that I wanted to show you how that looks by itself. And then I'm going to show you some samples done with the paper. So to do this, what I did was I set this up on my Stamparatus to make it really quick and easy. Let me just scoot that out of the way. And I'm just going to stamp this in black, so I have my stamps set up to line up to these, the holes here. So I can just put my cutouts in there. I can cut 2 pieces at a time with basic white for the most part, if they're not real detailed. And I'm just inking this in Memento because we are going to be coloring with blends. There we go. And if I like it, I see that I missed maybe a little bit of the flowers here. Let me just press over that a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Pop those out. Before we color, I'm going to go ahead and finish our stamping. Need to be careful when I pull those out. And we'll just scoot that aside for a minute or two. And I'm going to use a saying from, I had the stamp set right here. It's called Best Year. And you know I like this set. I use this a lot. And it's a happy birthday to you. So I'm doing that on a stitch rectangle. If I get the right side up here. There we go. Then our stamping will all be finished. And then I just need to do a little bit of coloring. And just so that I don't get color on my surface here, I want to just put this on some paper to catch. And now I'm probably just using one shade, just coloring in a couple of the flowers. I want it to be quick and easy. Actually, I don't like that shade. Well, that's okay. I did like, this is dark Blackberry Bliss. The light Blackberry Bliss is a little more purple. This was a little more red, which is interesting in a set of blends. And as you see here, I'm not even worrying about filling the whole flower because, you know, if somebody was creating designer paper, they would easily, you know, do this. So it's really allowed. We sometimes make rules for ourselves that artists don't have to follow. And so I'm gonna pretend to be an artist today. How's that sound? I just want a few of the flowers colored in so that it gives it a pop. And then I'm gonna take my Mossy Meadow, not that one. That one's a bad tip. I would go ahead and use the dark one, I guess. And do a few of these leaves. Again, not worrying to fill in the whole thing. Just to give it some green and purple color. And that's it. The rest is just, there's a little bit of embossing with the embossing folder. And a few pretty gems and some pretty vellum. I'm using Vellum Basics, I believe it's called. I'll show you that in a second as soon as I finish coloring this. Sort of sticking up in the air there. That's going to cause a problem. All right, I do think I need just a couple more flowers here. Okay. Maybe a couple little buds here. All right. I know, I want to color the whole thing in, but for time's sake, I really don't want to, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do that, okay? So I think that looks pretty just like that. There's plenty of white left, but it's still very pretty. So here's the pretty vellum, and this is what the set looks like. So there's the leaf one, here's the stripe one, and then the polka dots. Hopefully you can see that okay. So that is called Vellum Basics, and it's in the mini catalog. And I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on first, and I embossed Mossy Meadow with our leaves embossing folder. It's a 3D, so I did use our gray number 4 pad on top of my platform to do that. And then this, I'm not going to glue down until I have my flowers in place, because I never glue vellum unless it has been, has something on top of it. So let's go ahead and glue this down so we know where that's going to go. I'm using green glue because I want to slide this one underneath of it. I just tuck this right in here, and I just want that coming off the side a little bit. Trying to tuck a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now I know where I can glue. I look on the back, and now I can put glue anywhere I have something above it. Whether I've glued it in that spot or not, I can still put the adhesive on there. And now I'm going to carefully place it back down. And let that sit for a minute. Just any type of wet glue does not want to dry quickly on vellum. So while that dries, let's go ahead and turn this over. It should be good and dry. And let's put some dimensionals on the back of that. I'm going to go ahead and pop 3 on here. All right, here we go. We'll cover these stems up here. All right, and then last but not least, we have these beautiful gems to put on. They're called opaque adhesive backed gems, and they are just yummy, wonderful colors. And I'm going to be blah and just use the white. So you can use either the large or the small. And I'm going to put that one in there, and this one here. And when you turn that, you can see the facets in it. You can see the glimmer of the facets. That's what just really stands out. Okay, so that's it for that one. Let me show you the samples with that quick before I pop from here. So this is from the designer paper, and these are just pieces out of the same piece of designer paper. I think you may have seen these before. I did these for a project with my team. This is one piece of designer paper. Isn't that just stunning? Didn't have to do much with it at all. And another piece of designer paper. So this set of designer paper is so easy to work with, just so beautiful. Hope that you enjoyed that one. Okay, this next card is a really fun fold. I think you're going to love it. This card was inspired by Lisa Curcio from Lisa's Stamp Studio. So anyways, check that out. So you've got basically 3 different layers. Looks like this. And I'm going to walk you through it. It's very simple to do. So this highlighting our Sweet Citrus bundle. And make sure you stay tuned after this, because I have some fabulous cards to show you. Some more cards with this set. But this is a hybrid set. That means that the dies fit inside of the embossing folder. So I'm gonna show you how to use that. But let me go ahead while I have my scoring board here and get the scoring out of the way. I'm gonna give you those measurements. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 11, and we're gonna score at 2 1/2. Get my hand out of the way here. 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 6 3/4. I didn't put my markers in, and then 8 1/4. Okay, now we can get rid of that, and I'm gonna sit that down here. Grab my bone folder, and let's score. So I'm gonna just start sand folding the score lines. And like so. And that should end up with, let's see, that doesn't look quite right. I'm not sure what I did wrong. Oh, it's okay. One of these ends, this one's a little bit longer, and so I want the longer one on the bottom. Okay, so you can see that this one's just a little bit deeper than the top. So that's going to go like this. And if you measure this, we have 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, so it will fit in an envelope, a medium envelope. Okay, so now we're just going to decorate it. I am using some designer paper from the Sale A Bration bundle of paper that is called, let me show it to you because you might have missed it, Dandy Designs. Okay, this is with a $100 purchase, but it's a huge stack of paper. You've seen me use it tons of times because I want to use every single piece of it. But the pieces I'm using are this one, and this one's hard to see. I think it's behind here. So it's real, it's a real soft color. All right, let me give you sizes. So I have 2 pieces of Calypso Coral, 4 by 4. Okay. 2 pieces of designer paper. I use different ones that are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a piece of our pale papaya. Is that the right name? It's our end color. And it is 4 by 2 1/4. Okay. And then of course this is 3 7/8 by 2 1/8. Okay. And then I also have a large piece of paper for my stamping. Plus I have my tag that we're going to put on the top. And I die cut this from this Christmas season bundle. Don't forget about these dies. They're fabulous. We use this on the barn card, one of the barn designs that I showed. But I use this, and then I use these 2 little things. I just tape them onto the end so that the holes were cut out at the same time as we cut the tag out. And I'll show you how we're going to use that in a little bit. Okay, so I want to do the stamp. Well, let's put the paper on because then that's out of the way. Let me just pop this on here. This can be quick. Flowers are that color, mango. And then this one, let's stamp that in Calypso Coral, and then we can pop that on too. Okay, there we go. Let me just go ahead and, whoa, why did I do that? That usually doesn't happen unless it's embossed. All right, so now I'm going to just go ahead. The best way I've found to do this is I don't want to go past here. So let's go ahead and put adhesive here. And I don't want to go up there too far. So I'm going to go ahead and do just one top like that. And then if I flip that over, so I have adhesive up here and I have adhesive down here, and I can line this up. And press it down. And then I can do the same with this one. Let's put adhesive here. Spread that out, and adhesive here. Now this one gets a little tricky because you have to go under the other flap to get to the fold that's here. So I'm going to come about 1/8 of an inch down from the folds. And I want these to make sure these line up as I'm putting them down. That looks a little bit crooked at the bottom. Okay, so there's that so far. And then we have this one. And this one just glues down, so I don't have to worry about where I put my adhesive there. And I don't want it to show, so I'm going to make sure that I put it up pretty far. I also want to make sure that it's inside of this when it closes. So let me just bring that down. It's sticking out there, so I'm going to push that over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's that part done. Let's go ahead to the stamping, which is the really fun part. And we are going to use these stamps from the set. And I'm using Calypso Coral, and I do need some scrap paper because, and my mat, of course, because we're stamping with photopolymer. And I'm going to be wasting an image. I'm going to do my outline first. Looks like I could have stuck that to this block a little better. I want this full strength. So we'll stamp that first. Ta-da! And then this one, let's go ahead and ink that. This is the one that I want to just waste a little bit of color because I want it to be just a little bit lighter. We'll do that first. And then, because I did the darker outline first, trying not to get my head in the camera, but trying to get here far enough so I can see. Looks like I already touched down, so I guess I'm committed. Okay, so there's the inside. It looks like a lovely grapefruit or whatever fruit you want that to be. This folder is a 3D embossing folder, and of course we're using this die with it. And let me go ahead before I pull the machine over here. Let's go ahead and get this in here so that you can see how this is going to line up. The easiest way I found to do this is to figure out where this goes first. Okay, and so just sort of move it around so you're like, oh, okay, there we go. That fits in there. All right, and then I'm going to turn that around like this and just move it around until I have the design lined up inside of the die and the embossing folder. And once you like it, let's see. Once you like it, you can just close this and you're ready to run it through. And I'm just going to hold that really secure while I bring the machine over here so that you can see how I do this. So you did notice that I have the die inside of there, right? So I have all of the plates off of here. It's just number 1 and number 4. Let me turn this around so you can see it. The gray, number 4. So we're going to lay that down very carefully, making sure it stays held together the whole time. And now it's ready to run through. You can hear it cutting as it goes. And let's see what happened to it. Voila! There they are. They're all cut out. They're completely embossed with that beautiful design that the set does. So it's so amazing. Unless you've seen it in person, I can't even begin to tell you by video how beautiful it is. All right, let's go ahead and put this together now. Oh, there's one other thing I want to stamp. Actually, I already have them stamped. I forgot. So I did the little flowers, and I do have them set up in here so that they're already die cut. So we just popped them in there and stamped them. And then by the magic of television, I do have the little dots for the inside of that. So I'm going to go ahead. I have this open. I'm going to do Calypso on the mango ones. And last but not least, I want this one in yellow. So I'll just clean that orange off of there. And there we go. Sorry, I'm stamping from the side, so it's very hard to center things. Okay, so we're ready to put these on our card. What I did was I put the slice piece down first. So I'm going to use green glue for this, because I want to be able to scoot things around a little bit. And then I just popped up my part of a piece over here. I'm just seeing that it fits before my glue dries. And then we'll pop one of our flowers up. Let's see, I want a baby dimensional for that. Whoops, I got some extra dimensionals. And you can put however many flowers on that you want. Now, I didn't have a spot to use this, but I think you could, I could put this down here. I have a flower on my other one, but I think I want to use this piece because I don't like to waste beautiful things. Or you could put it up here if you want. And then I don't have anything on this second page either. So if you decided you could put, of course I wouldn't want it to stick out there probably. But then we've got some more flowers you can put wherever you like. I don't have very much glue on that, but hopefully that'll stick. And then last but not least, one more baby flower. And I think it's another yellow one. I should have put the orange one up here. I guess I'll put him inside here. Okay. So there we go. And then we just need to finish the top here yet. I do have my saying here, and it says, "Have a zesty birthday." And where did I throw my mat? Maybe I'll put it on the grid so that I'm not like imagining where these lines are going. Have a zesty birthday. Yay. I don't know what that black mark is. All right. Now we're going to put this on with this ribbon. This is an unusual ribbon. It's called Soft Polyester. It's in Blushing Bride. And I didn't want the width of it. I'm sorry, it's Petal Pink. What am I saying? I didn't want that full width of it, so I cut it in half. And it is fraying just a bit, but I think that if I just pull that off, we'll get that fraying stopped. And then I can get it off my gluey fingers and we'll be good to go. And I'm going to just snip this off here. All right, so we're going to put this, I'm actually going to run this through here. And you can see it's still sticking to the glue in my fingers. And bring this through here. And this is going to come around just this very top piece. And I'm going to tie it over on this side in just a little knot. All right, so once I have that in place, I do want to put some dimensionals here. And I'm going to use large dimensionals so that I can sort of hold that ribbon in place at the same time. I might put one up and one down just so that, like so. Okay, and that way it'll stay in place and it won't scooch. The ribbon won't, when if they want to untie it. They don't need to because it's not like an opening thing, but okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that's nice and flat back there. And then I'll try to tie it even though everything is sticking on my fingers. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Let me just pull that a little bit tighter. Okay. Now, there we go. One other thing we want to do is add some bling to this. So I want to use these new gems that are so pretty. And do I have one that's open? They're called iridescent pastel gems. And I don't have it open, sorry. I'm sure I have one somewhere that's open, but this one is very tight closed. And it looks like they're moving around a little bit here. Let's see if we can use this. And I just want to grab a couple of these coral colored ones just to highlight our card. And maybe a clear one or so. Sorry, it doesn't want to stay flat. There we go. Just to add a little bit of bling. You can put however many you want to of yours on. I tend to not go overboard usually. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that card. And like I said, I do have a couple more ideas to show you. So there's the lemon. So beautiful. Here's the lime. Isn't that pretty? And then here is another one using the same designer paper, just the opposite side. And added the leaves from the set. So just so you can see, like, I have so many more ideas that a friend shared with me, and I want to make all of them. They are so much fun. I do have to tell you that my retreat coming up in the end of March, beginning of April, is the theme, and the decorations are going to be all lemon themed. And so I'm so excited to have a set that is going to be like the mascot of the show. So if you are interested in a weekend retreat, goes from Thursday through Sunday, possibly Wednesday through Sunday if I can get them to agree to let us come a day early. We just don't ever want to stop. So the longer we can craft away, the better. So here are all 4 of the cards for February. And here at the top is the host code if you would like to place an order so that you can earn all 4 of these cards sent to you in the mail. Minimum $40 order will get you the pack of cards, and not cards, but projects. And but you'll want to bump it up to $50 at least to get one of the Sale A Bration items for free. If your order is $100, of course, you get 2 Sale A Bration items. If your order is over $150, I just want to remind you not to use the host code, because you will be able to earn some host benefits on your own. So don't use the host code. Of course, if you're a club member, you'll use the club code that you'll receive. So don't use this code for that. So these are the February cards. Of course, when I'm doing the classes, they're going to be both at the same time. So you can place your February order in February, or your March order in March if you like to, whichever, it doesn't matter. The codes will be good for either month. So whenever you're watching this, you will still be able to get the free packet. Okay? So thanks for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful week.